2 metre lengths. Oh, there we go. Good morning guys and welcome back to the DIY Dream Workshop build. I'm Alex from XX Workshop, and in today's episode 11 we are going to be building my office walls, which are actually currently in right now. So the office is going to be roughly that kind of space that the camera is in the corner of right now. And then I think it might just be that, but depending on how we get on and how quick we get through it, there might also be our floor going down in the rest of the workshop, but we'll see kind of what we get to and how much we get on. It might just be the walls, don't know yet, we'll see. But yeah, instead of chatting too much, I'm just going to jump straight in and show you what we've planned. So that is the corner you were just in, and that is going to be my workshop. You can see on the floor I've roughly laid out some bits of wood just to show you the sizes of that. So we're basically going nearly in line with the door here, and then I'm going to go basically in line with the beam here, and it's going to come out, and then that obviously means that this wall can go up and support the top of the beam up there. But I'm thinking, originally my plan was for both these walls to just go straight to the top to the ceiling, but I've recently been thinking a bit, and I think it'd be quite good to have like a little mini loft space up there where I can store stuff. So the plan now is to build these walls at the moment to the same height of our outside walls here, which I believe are about 220. Same with that one there, but then have this end post that comes up here go all the way to the top, so you get a bit of support there onto that beam. And then that should mean that we have kind of, depending on our height of what we want to do, we're going to roughly have about a top of a 220 height to go on for our ceiling there, and that will give us something to just put stuff up there, store out the way. You know, we've ended up with a very tall workshop, a lot taller than I was originally expecting to go, and it seems like a bit of a waste to kind of, anything above where I can really reach, which is there, is a bit of wasted space, you know. So it seems like it'd be a good place to kind of put some bits and have some stuff up. So I think the first thing is to get maybe more properly marked out a square bit on the ground, just so we can actually see what we need to do. So I'm going to quickly do that now. Now you probably can't see this on the camera at all, but there is a very faint laser line there I've set up, which basically goes right into the middle of our beam. So I'm going to use that as my kind of main point for this wall, just to find out where I want to end up on here. So it's exactly on 104 inches, but let's call that 264. So 264 is exactly where we want to go for this. I'm going to check this edge here. Just to see what... Originally I had planned exactly 2 meters, but I think because of the way where I put the door, annoyingly, we're gonna... Right, yeah. I think 2 meters is about right for... But that'll be the outside of our wall. Right, I'm gonna cut these down now to be the right for the base plate. So I need 2 of these to be 2 meters. And then I'm just going to check the measurements for the other one. So we've now got down here, as you can see, our sole plates for the walls, and I've also just thrown down, I'm going to use 2 pieces as my kind of beam. Actually, I think I'm going to use 3 bits all shot together. That'll be my main beam that goes all the way up to the top there. So what I just need to do now is work out, firstly, where my doorway is going to be here and how big it's going to be, and then secondly, just the stud placements for this, just so I can get that all right. So I'm going to do that very quickly now. Right, we've got everything worked out, so it's time to go grab some wood from the garage. I'm going to bring it back here and cut it all. I think I need, from my calculations, 17 to 2 metre lengths for the studs. I then need two 262. Yeah, I then need two 262 centimetre bits for the top plate, and then I need three 300 pieces for the beam that's going to go up to our glulam beam. So let's grab them quickly and get cutting. That is everything cut now for the studs and the top plate and bits. So let's start putting these walls together. Annoyingly, as I said, this bit of flooring isn't the best in the last video here. That's where I kind of messed up a bit of it. So I'm going to have to annoyingly build on top of this, but it should be fine. Move that along a little bit, to be fair. So we can get that nail gun in there, and then that is one wall fully built now. So that is our side wall here with our doorway, which I've gone for about a 30-inch door, which I think is about 83 centimetres ish, but that should give us enough room to come through and bring stuff out. But I think I might stand this up over here and just lean it against something, if I can get it on something, that is. And then we're going to quickly build this wall, and then we can stand them both up and get them in place. So let's jump on that now. Oh, it's nowhere near as heavy as those. Oh, that side were, so that's quite nice. I wonder if we can just lean that on there. 1, 2, and then 3 more there should be. Which there is. On that one. Second wall is complete, so I was about to just lift that up, but actually we need to put some of our DPC underneath, so I need to find my stapler and get this shot on there quickly. So I'm going to do that first, and then we'll lift it up again. And I'm just going to lean it against this door. You can still see me through there. And then this one I'm just going to now move into rough place. I have put a few marks on the wall. Annoyingly, the bottom bit of wood that I've put on for this is not very flat, so I don't think this is going to like. Where are we looking on here for you? Right. So that wall kind of just tacked in place at the moment. I'll just put a little screw there. I'll put some more prop ones in there. The only thing I'm noticing is I'm going to have to just check where I can actually screw in on this wall, because obviously we've only got studs going. Oh, actually, what am I talking about? This beam is obviously being supported by, I think, 3 or 4 of these, so actually I can screw in anywhere along there and that'll be fine, which is good. Pushing out a little bit up here, as you can see, so I'm going to have to bring that over slightly, but that's fine, we can do that easy enough. Just keep it over a little bit to get that nice. Yeah, we can bring that in line easy. So I think now we're going to do the same with that wall there. It's just standing this bad boy up in place. Which is still heavy. but nowhere near as bad as those outside walls. Now I can bring this in tight on here. Bring that in line there. Knock that over, beautiful. We have our office walls up, so it's our doorway in here. Nice little view out down there, and there you go. Walls are up, so the next part is doing our main kind of beam support there, which is going to be three of these 2x4s together to make that. So I think for that, I'm going to get one to the right height, 'cause it needs to run from the bottom sitting there all the way up to the top there, and then we can put it in, and then we can tie these in to be straight with that, which should pull everything in square. But yeah, I'm liking if you kind of have a look now, it's changed a bit of the dynamic of the space. Still got a decent size workshop area here, but as you can see, let me move this out of the way. We've now got this wall that will be there as you kind of come in, so the workshop's going to be like that. But yeah, actually I'm quite glad. I was going to do the office smaller than this, but I actually think this is a nice size space to be in. I'm going to have a kind of full desk along here. I'd like to have a nice little kind of chair in this corner here, although I don't want it too kind of sticky outy. Maybe some kind of storage here. But yeah, and then maybe kind of monitor, TV, I don't know yet, we'll find out. We'll work out as we go along, but yeah, it's looking good. So let's get this bit cut to the right height and put together, and then that's most of it nearly done, and we've just got to line the walls with a few sheets. But yeah, it's looking good, looking nice. Right, I'm not 100% sure what the best way of doing this is, but we're basically going to go, if you can imagine, on there like that. And then we can go right up until we hit where we need to hit. Nice, let's do a little test fit with this just to see where it actually fits in there. I'm thinking of potentially paint and staining this anyway, so I'm not too bothered. Right, I'm wondering whether we get this. Just to make sure it's not going anywhere. It doesn't fall over, although it's in there pretty tight, so I can't see it. Can't see it moving at all. Getting these in place here. Just to hold it, to stop it from moving at all. So I've got them all up there now, it's all connected in and it feels real sturdy. So I've just quickly thrown up a piece of wood. Now, as I said to you guys, I was originally thinking of going all the way to the ceiling with this, but I decided against that because I'd like to have that kind of space up there to put things kind of away. I think it's a nice big space. But what I need to decide next is how I'm going to kind of do this roof in here. My original thought was I have a few 2x6s left, and I was thinking about putting them on the top here. So basically, I'll jump up there a second. So you'd have a 2x6 up here like that there, and then I could have a roof on that. But I just wonder whether that makes it not as usable. Whereas the height it is now, seems like a nice height, and there's a decent kind of space up there that I could crawl on top of. But obviously, if we want to do that, we've got to think about some support underneath here. So with that, I'm thinking I'm not going to ever put anything too heavy up there. And also, I mean, it might have me crawling around on there a little bit, but I think I'm going to go with a little bit of a skimpy option. I've got loads of 2x4s left of these kind of stud pieces. So I'm thinking of maybe doing, I need to check what the kind of standard is, but doing some kind of, I can't remember if they're rafters or what, but kind of doing some support struts going across each of these on maybe 400 centres, similar to this, so they'll be coming across this way. I was thinking if I put a plate on this wall here that matches along going along there, and then also put a top kind of plate here that can go along to there, then I can run these along these centre lines like that. And actually, I don't think height-wise, I was a bit worried, but actually, I would say there's a good above my head, decent amount. And if I grab a quick bit of wood to show you, still, I know it might seem a bit more kind of cocooned in then, but actually, if we go up with something like that, you can kind of see I've still got a decent amount of room there, and then that just makes that more usable. Now, my only question with that is, what do I do? Do I go out and look and get some joist hangers to kind of hang these on up there on, or the other option is, obviously I could just screw straight through the back there into these and then kind of toenail them in this end. But I'm just wondering if I'm going to be potentially going up there, whether I think the wall kind of joist wall hangers might be a way better option for this. Also, if I did that, potentially I could just go straight into the walls here as well, because there is the top plates from these walls are literally right behind this here, so that is always an option as well. It's just kind of decisions really with stuff like this of what I want to do. And annoyingly, obviously asking you guys isn't super possible because I'm about to do it. So I think what I'm going to go do is, I think I'm going to have a quick little Google around, just see what I can find. But I think I'm going to go get some joist hangers because I just want to be extra safe with this and get them on there. And then I'm hoping we've got enough time to get them on there, get the roof on, and maybe even get some of the wood on for around the office today. Would be really nice if we could do that. Really nice indeed. So yeah, let's jump on with that and see what we can get done. Now, annoyingly, I just have been out to the shop and nowhere's got any of the, I'm dusty, nowhere's got any of the right size joist hangers that I need. So I've ordered some online and they should be here tomorrow, which actually I'm kind of glad about because I've got some nicer looking ones, and I think these ones are going to be on show from underneath when you're in the office. So I got some cool black ones, which look quite nice. So yeah, it's all fine, to be fair. I haven't actually got that much long left today, so I'm just going to put a few of these boards up on the outside while I've got a little bit of time. So I've just said so about 50 times then. But anyway, yeah, let's get some of these pinned here, get them in place, and then that'll be it for today. And hopefully we can get more of this finished tomorrow or day after. But yeah, let's get on with it. So it's been a couple of days, guys, since the last clip, and I just want to show you, I've been in here a little bit, but not much, just kind of doing an hour or so. I'm just going to show you what we got done. So obviously in the last clip I was just putting that one board on there, which as you can see is now nicely on there. And I've also put on this board here as you come in. So we've got the door, I cut out a little part of the base plate there, sole plate. And yeah, so I've been doing that, and I've also put on all the tape which is needed for obviously these joins here, which look good. I've just been out to the shops to get a few bits. So I can't remember what I actually said in the last clip, but I think I was talking about the rafters for the kind of ceiling of the office. And I was talking about potentially just using, as I had a load of these stud bits left over, but they are technically only 2x4s. And I think just to be kind of future-proof, depending on how much weight I want to put up there, I thought it was better to go out and get some 2x6s, or I think these are kind of 38 by 140, so just a bit more thicker, and just will take a bit more weight with that. Also had a bit of a mess around with trying to find what I wanted to use as kind of joist hangers. So I got some down there, some silver kind of metal ones, which were fine, but I found these on Amazon, which are some cooler kind of looking black ones, which I think will look quite nice. They're not like the full, if I show you there, they're not the full kind of height of a board there. They're kind of more made for these ones that I was planning on using. And if I show you them, so obviously that on there, that's more for that height, whereas this, it's going to be like that, but that is fine. It still will hold it tightly, and I don't think really if it came up to here it was going to make a huge amount of difference. So the plan for what I'm going to do now is get these cut down to, I think I've got 5 of them, get them cut down to the right size, and measure up for that, and then I'm going to evenly space them out along here. I think then use my laser to find over here where they're going to go. I know, for instance, that where this top plate is here of these two, there's 2 running through, should be running through there. So we're hopefully going to be able to join into that, and I'll have to use the laser just to find that out. But yeah, hopefully shouldn't be too bad or too hard. Also, what I'd like to do before I put these up is I'm going to stain these black, so they kind of match in with these and just look quite cool. I think it'd be quite nice. We have quite a bit in here that I kind of just deciding on what I'm going to stain black and what I'm not going to do black, but that's going to be one of the first things that I'm going to stain and should look good. I've also up here put a kind of top plate on here, which is a bit further over than these 3 here, just to give this a bit of a nicer, this isn't fully screwed down yet, just to give this a bit of a nicer top onto it, and also just a nice rounded edge and not a kind of bit more of a spiky edge. But yeah, let's get these first ones cut to length right, and then yeah, we can see how they fit and start staining them. It is 191.5. Put one of these with the hangers in the rough right location, which is about there. Drill these and hopefully they're going into stud, which I think they are. Yeah, that definitely is. That definitely is, and I don't think this one is. No, that's not. So those bottom ones are, but that should be okay. That should be really all we need. Okay, so I just trimmed it down. Let's see what it's saying. Oh, oh, damn, that fits like a glove. That fits like a glove. Not going to attach these in yet, but I think that seems pretty strong. Let's do the old hang test. Oh, oh no, it's just because it wobbles, it's not. Oh, there we go. I'm hanging now, I am hanging. I know you can't see my feet, but yeah, that feels pretty solid. That is all of the rafters in. I haven't fully put all the screws in these M1s, and obviously they're not tacked in yet because I'm going to paint these, but in the actual hangers they're not fully in there. But I know it's probably not 100% the exact right way to do it. You probably do want some bigger joist hangers, but I think on this side at least, I'm gonna also screw through these kind of top plates into the back of each beam to kind of secure them in place of this as well. And I was thinking on the top, let me jump up here. Whew. On the top of here, maybe put in a screw from this top bit going down, one or two, or even from these side bits just to lock them in as well, just to give it as much as possible. But I think overall looks pretty decent. You can see up here the kind of space that we're working with. I'm not sure yet exactly what to do with whether to put like a bit here for it to kind of sit on and go into as well when we've kind of got the top bit of wood, just because there's kind of nothing for it to grab there. So I might put a kind of another plate just up there along that top bit. On here there is a kind of, this is in line with these top plates, so I'm thinking this will basically act as one anyway, so holding the weight of that. But yeah, I think that all looks good to me. I wonder whether I can show you from up here. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. So that actually didn't take too long at all. I think what I might do now is quickly do a coat of, I basically got this, it is Ronseal Wood Stain Ebony. I was looking around at a load of different kind of like paints and stains and sealers and stuff for this. And I don't know if I've kind of already mentioned it or not, but I'll show you from back here. My plan is with the office and the kind of workshop, these are obviously, these wood walls are all going to stay wood and stay how they are. This one here, so that one, the back one and the side one. But then the actual office, I think I'm going to paint the outside black, and then that wall there is going to be painted black as well. I just think it might look quite cool, and obviously I'm going to paint the top bits up here as well. So these rafters, they're going to be painted black as well. So yeah, should look hopefully quite cool. So I went with this, as I said, ebony wood stain. I'm hoping that's enough to kind of cover it all. Again, it doesn't need to be like perfect. It just needs to be kind of black looking, you know. I think that'd look quite cool. So I think the next job is to get those stained, get one coat on them at least and see what it looks like, and then we can go from there. So just want to pour out a little bit. What it's looking like. That'll probably be enough. So I gave the beams another coat last night. I came out and just gave them a second just because I think one probably is not enough. And I've slid them just back up there. They're not screwed in yet at all, but I think that looks pretty good, you know. The black, you can still see the wood texture in that, which is nice. And the black stain's kind of gone in really well. So yeah, I'm quite happy with how that's turned out. And I think that's quite a good, although it was a bit more expensive wood stain, I think that was probably the right choice of that. So yeah, I have just thrown up a bit of a speed just to see what it would be like height-wise. I probably should have put a bigger bit up to really get a bit more of a impression, but there's still, there's still loads of room between my head and the beam, and then even more room. Like I can just obviously kind of reach it and touch it there. So yeah, I'm all happy with that. That is all of the beams tacked in, and now they're proper strong. I've still got some bits left over from the beams. I was thinking, do I put some kind of noggins between these, but they do seem pretty strong at the moment. But I might see once I've kind of put the ceiling on the top of this, whether I feel like I should add some noggins as well. But at the moment, I'm not going to. Right, everything has been rubbed down now, so I think we are ready to paint, which is very exciting, but also a little bit nerve-wracking because obviously this is black stain, so there's kind of no coming back from this once we put it on the wall. So I think I'm going to start with this back bit over here, which you're not going to see as much, just to see how it goes on. Obviously I painted those beams and they were all fine. Well, stained those beams. And they're all fine, so I don't think there's going to be any problems, but as long as I start over here kind of behind the door, I don't mind if there's any kind of little mess ups or anything like that. So I'm going to get the stain out, put some in the tray, and then we'll start rolling it on. Let's try and not flick any on the roof panels either, because they are all white. I don't mind it going on the floor at the moment because the floor is not got anything on. And to be fair, even if I did anything down, it's a black floor that's going down, so. It's definitely going to need a second coat, but I am liking how it looks. I'm glad that I've decided to do this. 1, 2 and 3 walls all painted. So we've got the first coat on, as I said, right there. But I think, obviously the lighting's not amazing there at the moment, but I think it looks pretty cool. It's hard to get a good angle because I've got all my crap pushed to one side at the moment, but yeah, I think it looks good. I've just got a bit of just some of the foil tape as a bit of a barrier for when I was doing the cutting in there. But yeah, for a first coat, doesn't look bad at all. A little bit patchy in certain areas, but I think a second coat will completely kind of cover that up and make it look obviously similar to how these are kind of pristine black. So I might start doing a second coat potentially later tonight. I might come back out here because obviously I can paint in the dark. Well, not in the dark, I can have the light on, but I can start painting it. The only one thing I've got a kind of question about at the moment of what I do is, obviously in here in these gaps, the paint doesn't really get, on a few areas it has, but I can't tell if I kind of like that the gaps are kind of, it's hard to see on camera to be fair, but the gaps in real life, you can kind of see them from, yeah, you really can't see that from over there I feel, but yeah, you can see the gaps, and I don't know, I quite like it, I think. So I might leave that at the moment, but obviously if it eventually looks a bit stupid, I might just kind of go in there with a small brush and just touch it up and paint those bits. But yeah, the black, I really like the black, you know. It kind of takes a room, I think now you've got the wood tones and then you've got the black. I think that looks really cool. I'm wondering whether I should paint eventually the inside of this door black as well, because I think that would look quite cool. Paint it black, so it's all kind of one big bit. But yeah, we're getting on, you know, we're making moves. Got quite a bit of time this week to be out here, so hopefully I can smash through a lot. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it. I might show you the second coat, I might not, we'll see. Maybe the next clip will just be straight it done. But yeah, it's been a good day today, got quite a bit done. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And we're back, guys, in the workshop for another day of getting stuff done. I did come out last night and just gave a second coat to this black, which I think now looks really nice indeed. I don't think it needs a third coat at all. But yeah, I think that looks pretty nice. That one's maybe a bit more, although no, actually, maybe it's just the angle. But yeah, that looks good. So you can see that black. I also gave a little kind of clean in here and sealed this floor ready for the self-leveling. So I just got some of this concrete seal and floor leveling primer. That went down, I did a kind of thick coat of that, not diluted at all, just straight onto there. And that seems, it's kind of got a slightly tacky feel, which I think from what I've seen online is kind of right. And I also, I don't know if you can see that line there, I just went with my SDS drill with, I can't actually see where it is at the moment. Oh, there it is, right there. With this kind of, what's it called, chisel bit, and just chiseled that one high mark there down, which to be fair, annoyingly, I didn't really think about doing that, but now I'm looking at the floor, I feel it's actually pretty level. I'm still going to put self-leveler down on it, but to be fair, it's probably a job I didn't actually need to do, but we've already bought the stuff, so. Okay, maybe a little bit closer. It's not as splatty as I thought it would be. So that is the floor, all levelled. It says about 3 hours drying time until you can kind of, I guess, put some weight on it, walk on it. But I think that looks pretty good. And the next big job is laying the floor. So I think I need to have a big clean up. I need to sort out, there's a lot of offcuts of wood from all the obviously plywood lining. Need to have a clean up of that. I'm wondering whether I put maybe 2 bigger bits over the kind of open ways here just to stop anything from going into there for the next hour or 2. But yeah, I need to have a big clean up, get rid of any kind of scraps we don't need. And I'm thinking about where I'm going to actually start for the floor. And I'm wondering whether it's best to start in like a far corner. But I'm also wondering at the same time where's going to be the most seen area. So it's something I need to have a think about while cleaning up. We have a semi-cleared workshop now. As you can see, it's probably easier if I come out here a little bit actually. Everything's just dumped out here as you can see. So I've kind of moved everything out of this kind of back corner along here and then kind of down there, because I'm kind of thinking, I wonder whether I start from this back corner here. I could do a full strip that way, maybe come out this way a little bit, just to kind of start off that process of the flooring. And then once I've got a big section here, I could move on like the workbench and move some of the other tools on top of it. This is the flooring we got, which is, get a sheet out here. So it's got a little dust mark on it where the box has been opened, but as you can see, it's like a nice black rubber. It's about, I think it's about 7 or 10 mil thick. Black rubber, speckled, and I think they're kind of normally for like gyms / garages. Just to give a bit of a nicer floor than obviously what we've got there. I went with the speckle just because I didn't just want a plain black floor, and I also thought the speckles, not from a lazy point of view, but the speckles will maybe make it look less dirty and dusty than if it's just pure black, because you'd see all the sawdust. I mean, you'll still see the sawdust on it a lot, but it might just help a little bit. So I don't know if you can tell by this, but basically they have these 2 finished edges, which are like, oh, I don't know how easy you can see that, there you go. 2 finished edges on each one, and then they've got 2 jigsaw edges. Like kind of, oh okay, this looks like this might slide under here, not too badly. Okay, we have done basically every, I would class like full square now is down, so now it's time for cutting. I think this stuff I could probably just cut with I've been cutting a few little bits where they needed to be cut, but I think it's just going to be a cutting with a utility knife. Should be fine with Stanley. The only annoying thing at the moment is, because I've kind of put all this weight on it over there, it's kind of certain areas it's kind of buckling up a little bit. I don't know if you can kind of see. Here's a good example of it. It's kind of wanting to push up. I mean, it is going down. It's not like when I kind of step on it, it does kind of go back down. So should be fine. The only thing I don't really like is that big wheeled bench on there at the moment. Is it's kind of denting the floor a bit more. This stuff isn't like fully, like it's not like solid, if you know what I mean. It's got like some give to it. So I think something like that's just maybe a bit too heavy for this floor, which might be a problem, might not, I'm not sure yet. I was originally planning to have a rolling workbench in the middle. And I think if I am going to do that, all I need to do is put some bigger wheels on it. Because the wheels on my toolbox and the saw stop aren't kind of doing the same effect because it's a lot of a bigger wheel, whereas those ones they're kind of quite small wheels, so they're really digging in. Okay, yeah, that seemed easy enough. Now I'm wondering whether we can use the other side of this to kind of, what have we got there? And with that, the floor is down. And look how good that looks. I'm really, really pleased with how this turned out, and I'm really glad this is kind of what I went with. It feels so much nicer to kind of walk around on than the concrete did. It just gives you like a little bit of it's still like solid. Like it's not like too spongy, but it's just definitely a lot more soft on your feet than the concrete obviously was, so, which is really nice. So we'll obviously just have to see. It's going to be a bit of a test of time to see how it kind of actually stands up to being used and abused. As I haven't really seen a lot of people kind of using it in workshops and stuff before in this sense. There's a few kind of American guys and stuff that I know have kind of similar things, but I haven't seen it too much, so. But I'm going to get them shoved right under there. And then you can just give it a bend on that score line. And that will do perfectly. From the last bit, it's going to do this, isn't it? Oh, there we go. There we go. And there we go. Last bit in. I've just moved it over so it literally just goes underneath this gap here as well, which is beautiful. So it's looks all nice and tidy under there. And we've got obviously a little gap here, but we're getting a board that goes on there. And obviously a little gap here, but again, we're getting a board that goes on there. So, I think that is a pretty good win. And also this lined up quite nicely as well. Perfect. We have got a little bit of a joiner to go there, so we can get that cut and get that in. But yeah, let me show you from back here. Ooh, now that looks good. Show you through there. I'm glad I laid it that way in the end, you know. I think it looks really nice, and it's nice that it matches. It's obviously a dark wood, but it matches, I think, quite well with the floor. There's not really like a, doesn't look out of place at all, does it? So yeah, and the funny thing was, so I got 3 boxes of this, and I thought I might have to buy one more. Those are literally the last 2 pieces I've got. So I got it literally exactly right. I think it was about 5 square meters, and those boxes roughly came to about 5.3, 5.4 square meters. So probably should have got one more box to be safe, but I'm glad I didn't, because as I say, they're about £30 a box. So I wouldn't have actually needed it. The only problem was obviously I couldn't make any mistakes at all. So it's good that that didn't happen. But yeah, looks really good. Another thing checked off. I think one of the next things I'd like to do is put the ceiling on here. Get that up on there. We're going to go over like an OSB for that. We've also got here, haven't unwrapped it yet, but our door, which is going to hang on there, and it's going to be on the outside. It's going to be like our hanging rolling door, which is nice. We've got to put obviously the little threshold bit over the join of there. And also we've got obviously the wood. I got the wood yesterday when I picked up the floor for our ladder that's going to go up to the top. So a few different bits there to do. I might do the door actually next, because that everything's kind of basically ready for that. So maybe we have a look at that. But yeah, door, or maybe even the our loft bit. So I might just have a quick bit. Oh, actually something I'll show you here. So I've been cutting in here and we get a bit of dust. It's a bit hard to see with the light, but this is what it looks like with dust on the floor. Don't look too bad at all, I feel. Doesn't look crazy dusty, and I think it should hoover pretty easily. So so far the floor is holding up and looking good. I've just finished putting the door on the office. Sorry I didn't film it, but it was a little bit fiddly to do, and also it was getting late to the end of the day yesterday when I was doing this, so I kind of just wanted to get it done because we were going out. But I think that looks pretty nice on there. Nice black roller door, so it's got a nice railing up there, which was a little bit annoying to get perfectly straight because it's made up of small individual parts, so it took a little bit just to kind of get that all right. But there we go, that rolls open. I've still got to put some bits down there, just kind of hold it in place and get it right. But yeah, we've got an office, we've got the door, we've got the floor. What more could you want? You know, it's looking real good. And I think with that, there is a few kind of smaller little bits left to finish. But I think with that, it's probably going to be the end of this video, just because there's loads of little kind of jobs to do, but I'll probably do them off camera because you don't really need to see them. But yeah, how do you guys think it's looking? Sorry, it's a bit hard to see with the light there. Let me come in this corner down here. Floor's looking great. Seems like it's holding up well. Office, it's gone in nicely. I love the black. Got the door on. We've got the floor. So yeah, a lot has been done. It's really kind of coming together now. Like, I'm quite glad. We're kind of nearly at that point where it's kind of ready for getting some workbenches and bits in here and kind of doing some more of the fun actual workshop parts. Not that this hasn't been fun, but it has been quite a long process. So I'm really looking forward to kind of getting into that point. And it's just nice that it's actually becoming more of like a proper thing now and just looking a bit more real. So yeah, gonna leave it at that. If you've kind of enjoyed the video, remember to like and comment and subscribe. If you've got any questions, or if you just want to let me know what you think about stuff, that'd be great to kind of know. But I'll see you hopefully in the next episode very soon.